All right. Well, sorry about the view. I can't really get up close here, but it's a little something I built out of an old bed frame, and I'm kind of right now using it as a bench. I can put things down here and keep them in the shade, which is really important this time of year. But it's not fully built yet. It's a work in progress, but it's far enough along that I can do what I need to do now. And I don't necessarily have the best lighting out here, but I've got some lighting. So I need to get some seeds started. What we got here is not what I was expecting because somebody gave me the wrong seed packet. I'm glad I looked. It's still one I need to do. So it's a matter of getting them going. Not really doing anything terribly special here. These are just eggplant. But eggplant happens to be one of the few traditional vegetables that can grow through the Florida heat. So I need to get them going. So that I can plant them out. Hopefully in a couple of weeks. But actually falling a little behind. I'd started these once before. And when I moved them outside, we had an unexpected, extremely hot week. And they all fried on me. So I get to do it again. Because I need the crop. But I held back seed. I over-ordered seed in the first place. Which is definitely going to work to my benefit here. But I held back some on the first planting just in case. And that's my fault. Don't you hate it when it's your own fault? I knew it was hot, and I moved them to where I thought they would be okay. And then we just ended up not having any rain whatsoever during that time, and I was busy doing other things and wasn't able to get out and water it. And a mix of the lack of water and how high the heat was, did them in pretty good. By the time I did manage to get out and check it, it wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. Hopefully you can hear me. I've actually got my microphone working for a change. Damn thing never seems to want to work right. So hopefully it is working right. So I've been working in the nursery most of the day. I've gotten a lot done. A lot more to do. A lot more to do. But you take it when you can. The weather's been okay. A little too hot around 2:30 to like I'd say 4:35. I came back out and started working again. Somewhere around there. You gotta take a midday break here for a few hours because it just gets too hot this time of year. Make sure that you do some of your work at night like I am. The only problem is the mosquitoes are eating my legs alive. I'm almost out of seed. I'm almost out of prepackaged starter packs, so I guess it's going to work out okay. It's going to be close enough. It would actually appear that the rainy season might be starting a whole month and a half early this year here. We'll see how it goes. Generally speaking, we don't get a week of rain this time of year. We might get a passing thunderstorm if we're lucky, or maybe some blow-in from the ocean, but we've had more like a normal summer afternoon thunderstorm pattern going on. So in some ways it's really good, in other ways it's really bad, but I'm going to take advantage of it. It's supposed to rain tomorrow and the next day, at least, at the minimum. And the humidity went way up, but it's not super hot yet. So I've been taking advantage of that and doing a bunch of mulberry cloning, because the mulberries need warm and they need the humidity, but it not being in the 90s is going to help them take better. So we're only hitting the mid 80s, the upper 80s. So this is more like summer other places. This is what our spring is like. It's not uncommon this time of year for it to suddenly jump to 95 degrees. However, it doesn't seem like it's going to set up that way this year. Looks like we're going to get a good amount of rain, and it looks like it's been cooler longer this year. So a lot of times on Easter, and Easter was late this year, but a lot of times on Easter, you're looking at upper 80s, low 90s, and we didn't get that this year. It's still cool enough, like right now, for me to be out here. But come 2 months from now, this time of day tends to be all thunderstorms. And at night, it's still 90 degrees, 90, 92, 94 at this time as the temperature starts to lower. So if you're in Florida, you need to make sure that you're doing some gardening right after sunset. Now, if you can get in an hour, maybe two, depending on what your schedule is, It makes a huge difference. So that's basically what I'm doing now, is taking advantage of that time. When it's cool enough, I've already gotten a bunch of the other things for the day done. Oh, that's what I needed to plant. I got a whole nother set all set up right over here. I don't really know what I'm going to put in it, but it's there. These guys here, they'll get rained in probably tomorrow morning, maybe tonight. I got rained on pretty good earlier today, so after they get a good rain and soaking, I'll go ahead and move them down there. I might move them down there tonight and just add water to the dish. Mosquitoes are a pain tonight. Whoops. Oh, I just sent a seed flying. No. Hopefully everything's coming in all right. I figure I'll sit down for a minute or two this time and talk to you. I've got a little rusty old metal chair that'll work. Well, hello there. I can almost see the writing on the screen. Let's see, who's there? Hey, Howie. Welcome in, brother. So, I'm ramping up for my summer gardening. Summer gardening in Florida is a bit different than winter gardening. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm starting to set up hot weather, what we call hot weather vegetables. So, there's only really a few traditional vegetables that take the heat. So I'm going to be really picking on 2 crops in my vegetable beds for the summer. I might do 3. We'll see if I have the seeds. But the ones that I'm really going to be focusing on right now is I'm going to be focusing on eggplant, a Asian variety eggplant. And I'm going to be focusing in on okra, because okra loves the heat. The thing with okra is I've learned over the years that it's very, very important that I don't plant the okra until rainy season actually starts, where I know for a fact it's rainy season. Now, you can plant it much earlier if you've got enough of a watering system to back it up. But a lot of these beds, I have to water by hand. And during the rainy season, I really don't have to water. So if I wait until the rainy season, and okra does not like to be pre-started in packs and then planted in the ground, it almost guarantees that it stunts them. So I don't want them stunted. They need to be planted straight in the ground. If this weather pattern continues, I'll be planting my okra in 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. But if I get a solid 2 weeks of rain this time of year, that means the rainy season has truly started, which would give me almost 6 weeks earlier a start on them than I was able to do last year. There is a minor problem. I did not prepare enough fish fertilizer. I think as it stands right now, I've only got maybe 10 gallons. And I burned through more like 30 last year. So I need to kind of step up the production of that. I started that today and started a 5-gallon bucket of fertilizer for next season. I've got a 55-gallon drum. I'm going to load it down so so that I'll have that. And I got other plans, like right here where this is at, this is only going to be temporary. It's going to move over about 40 feet, but it's going to be a real pain to get there because I got to go all the way around. But this whole back fence this is on, well, maybe not the whole thing, but a large amount of it is going to be turned into gutter next summer out of the scrap that I presently already have. Do have a couple minor problems, not necessarily having the pumps to run it, but I've got the tanks, I've got the gutter. It's just a matter of me making some parts out of some of the gutters and then assembling it. And I've got 2 pumps, but I could really use different pumps than the one I have. I'm debating on whether or not use mineral salts, which is mineral, not chemical, and the hydroponic system. So I can get everything I need that is an elemental mineral, a naturally occurring mineral. Or whether or not I want to go and play with trying to balance out fish and compost teas and things like that to be able to run the hydroponic systems. And I'm not really sure about which one I'm going to go to. I might do both because I know I can make the mineral salts work. The only thing is this is a permaculture garden overall, and mineral salts is still salts. I'd keep most of it out of the system, except for the hydroponic system. And it'd be a good way for me to get it up and going. And maybe have a smaller one and continue to work on my formula for being able to run it off of teas and fish emulsion and seaweed emulsion and things like that until I have it balanced out. I don't quite have that recipe down. But it's not terribly hard for me to be able to make a part A, part B liquid and then have my barrels and mix it in the barrels and check the pH and check the parts per million and balance the pH and make sure the parts per million is where it's supposed to be. That's really not all that hard. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Thing is with that is a lot of times I have to buy in bulk for everything, which means I'd end up making way more than I actually need. So I gotta kind of figure out how to bring that concept down a little to where I'm not mixing a barrel's worth, maybe where I'm mixing a gallon or two's worth at a time. So I got some math to do there. I'm just making it in that small a quantity. I mean, maybe I can get it to where I'm doing 5 gallons. Not really sure. Oh, let's see who's there. No, it's still Howie. That's really where I'm going to go with this. Eventually, this old Ranger is going to come out of here, and if I'm lucky, I'll be able to build me a shade house / greenhouse because I'd want to be able to cover it when it gets cold and pull down the shade cloth as well. So there's some design elements I need to figure out there because, well, I'll probably end up building it out of miscellaneous scrap that I pick up. Try to keep the price tag down because that stuff gets expensive fast. But right now I need to get in on the hydroponic system, and I really need to get in or push harder on making my clones. I'll be doing a lot of that next winter in potato cloning. See how many 6-packs I can produce and sell locally. We'll see how that goes. But I did a couple of 100 mulberry clone starts today, and probably about 80% of them will take, give or take. And that's just the red mulberry. I've got to do some of the other ones. Now, the other ones don't clone quite as easy as that American red mulberry does. So, but I've got to set up tables for all of that and everything. Anyway, I'm not quite there yet. I haven't quite figured out how to set up the tables. And I don't want to just throw them up and then have them be in the way and have to move them again. So there's a bit of that going on. And I've only got so much room because I'm working underneath a shade tree. Like one half. If I cleaned up the other side and got the pots that are there in order, because I've got a lot of pots stacked up there, I might be able to expand on the other side, but there's only so much work a person can get done. So I'm pushing, and I'm hoping that I'll have the hydroponic systems up and operational before September, because we start planting our cooler season stuff in September and October. So that's going to be interesting. I haven't run my own personal hydroponic system in quite some time. The last one I had set up and operational was about 11 years ago. And that one was actually built across the back porch of my old house. I had a very large back porch, and on the outside of it I ran 5-inch seamless gutter back and forth and connected it all up, and had I had a 35-gallon tank, water pump from a fish tank hooked into a hose that went up to the top one, attached to a timer, and it came twice a day for 15 minutes. And that did pretty good design-wise. It did have a flaw in the design, was I had attached it to the existing gutter system without the ability to, divert it somewhere else, so that it would always fill that tank up for me. And that was a bit of a problem. One, the pH on the rain versus what was running in the tank was different. I always had to correct it. And two, I was having a hard time keeping my nutrient solution where I wanted it. And what I mean by where I wanted it is both the concentration level of the nutrient solution, as well as keeping it in system, because when it would rain really heavy, it'd fill that 35-gallon tank up in 5 minutes or less. And then it kept pumping it into there, and it had overflows on the tank, and it would overflow all my nutrient solution out. So not going to be tying into an existing gutter system. I'll have to add the water to the tanks manually. That's okay. And I've got plenty of PVC pipe. I might need to buy a couple connectors if I decide to use PVC to connect anything. We'll see what I can do with the pumps that I have. And then I've got to figure out a timer system for it that's going to work for me outside in the Florida I'm going to rain every day for 6 months. And that could be a problem. I had wanted to do it as 12 volt, where it had just a battery out here, a deep cycle battery, and a little solar panel. That's really not going to happen on this run. I need to get it operational, not have it perfect. So anybody who's ever done any type of agriculture or worked in construction or had to fix anything, sometimes getting it operational is more important than it being perfect to your design. So don't let a good plan get in the way of a good idea, because there's no better way to ruin a good idea like a perfect plan. And the bugs are tearing me up. It happens, Daggin Hills. Thanks for coming, brother. I was just about to get off of here because, well, the bugs are tearing me up. There is one thing I want to show you all before I get off of here. So, I have an obscenely large cactus in my garden. So, I thought I'd show it to you. It is in full bloom right now. Hopefully that came out all right. Who knows? Either way, that is a apple cactus. Those flowers are about the size of a smaller dinner plate. They can get larger, and it blooms at night. All the pollinators, nighttime pollinators, will be all over it. Sometimes I get bats that come in. The bats are kind of nice. So it produces a very nice, very reliable red fruit that is very similar to dragon fruit, but it's just red like and round like an apple. The thing is, you can't get it off the cactus without pulling a plug out of it too. It doesn't matter how you try to pick it. So it's not something that I can ever send to market. It's more or less something for me. So my kids, they come in and they demolish them. And it tends to give me 2 crops a year. So it's actually blooming about the same time it always does, even though the weather's a little different this year. This thing is massively impressive. It's about 25 feet tall. So, I mean, you really can't see that on the camera, but it's huge. Thanks for coming in, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Every night that I manage to get a chance to get out here in the garden, if the weather's good, I'm going to come out and I'll run it while I'm out here. That way people can see the type of stuff that I end up doing for the nursery. I am, with any luck at all, going to go commercial nursery later this year. We'll see how that goes. But thanks for coming in. You have a good night.